let's look at some customer data. Okay, so let's go field by field and through the tabs. Again, the yellow fields are required, so a customer name is required. A sales rep is not required but can be filled in from the ones you've selected and defined as part of the sales rep lists. Same thing with ship via. You define those fields. Vendor ID, really that's if the ID, if the customer has an ID that they use for you that you want to store what your ID is for them. So if you ever have to call them and they ask what's your ID because they've got a long list of vendors, you can store it here. Customer status, you can define your own list of status as well. Customer, prospect, former customer, quick pay customer, whatever you want to fill in there. Tax types, you define your different tax types through the list as well, and then you can select which type this customer is. Primary contact is for your information, so you can just at a glance see who the primary contact name is. Set a credit limit if you want. That's really at this point just for informational purposes, unless a given invoice, if one invoice goes over that, it doesn't keep you cumulative, it just does a single credit limit overage at this point. Notes are notes, they're on every field. PO required, if you check this, then when the handheld, on the handheld if they're creating an invoice, they must fill in a purchase order number. It will not allow them to proceed unless they fill something in there. Inactive, again, of course, toggles between active and inactive. Inactive and hides customers that maybe are old customers that you don't need to see on the list, but you can still look for them through the inactive searches. Account number, this is the account number that you might assign to the customer, or your accounting system might, or for some other reason if you need to assign an account number to them beyond just the customer's name. Payment types, invoice, cash, COD, well cash would be COD, or partial CODs are common ones that are set. Again, you can set these and control them. If you're using the built-in ones of invoice in cash, if you set cash, then a payment is required at the time of the invoice in order for the handheld to proceed. It will tell them they need to have made the cash payment. Route days here in this field is informational. I don't do anything with it here. Salutation, this you might use with one of the super searches. It's part of the super search results. That could be Dear Mr. Allen, or whatever, Dr. Allen, or however you might want a letter or an email to look, and then you can export this through the super search functions to Excel and then do a mail merge with Excel or Outlook for emails, or for a letter through Word. Then we've got your date ranges, and this here is largely if you've got some sort of service agreement that you offer your customers. If they were a former customer, you can set it to the dates they were a former customer. If they were never a customer, it kind of defaults out to January 1st of 1971. But if they were a former customer, say from 2000 to 2005, you might set this to, say, 2000 through 2005, just so that you have the information to tell you that they were a former customer that you had a sales agreement with or some sort of special arrangement with, and then you've got this for reference, so we can kick out some reports to answer, if there's somebody you're trying to go back and market to former sales agreement customers. Up in here, you can also see cell phones, emails, phone numbers, web addresses, things like that, so that it's a quick reference guide to the same information we've got below, but you can see it very easily at a glance here. Comment about the customer name. If you're working with businesses, their business names usually are unique, but sometimes they have multiple locations, such as you might be working with McDonald's, and there are 5 of them within 10 miles or such, in which case you might want to make them different by saying McDonald's, and then if they have a store ID or something or part of their account code number, you could say McDonald's 1806 or whatever their store number is, or maybe that's part of their address or something. That's a common way to handle that. And with customers that maybe are homeowner type customers, it might be based upon their last name and then the part of their street address to make it unique, so that when you're doing searches for it, it'll come through and say Jones. Well, you've got 12 different Jones, and maybe you're putting in 123 Elm, and that's part of their address, or just 123. Those are a couple common techniques that are used here.